Hey, this is Shane from soulfamily.net. And yeah, just I have had some inquiries recently over the last few months, particularly from therapists, asking me could I teach them how to keep their space clear after clients have, been visiting them in person for sessions, but also could they work on their clients remotely to assist with the healing process. In other words, clearing away any obstacles to healing energetically in terms of what's going on in their home and also in their energy bodies. So in my own practice over the last 12 years, it's been a vital part, uh, which is clearing away these obstacles, these energetic intrusions into the person's energy fields, as well as any like geopathic stress or entities and so on in their homes that were hampering the healing process. Because I noticed, in the early days, I'm talking about in the first year or so of my practice, that some people were really thriving and doing very well and coming back for the next session the following week and hitting the ground running. And some people seem to be stalling and maybe even regressing a little bit. So after doing some digging around, and as always, the answers come when you go looking for them, I found out about dowsing and geopathic stress and so on. It's gone, wow, this can really have an impact on someone if they're coming here and we're clearing up their energy and then they go into their home and that energy is all distorted. Of course, it's going to affect how they feel. So they could be feeling great coming out of our session and then being immersed in that sort of, let's call it negative space or negative energy. Even though they're not negative people, the energy of the environment really had a profound impact on them. So what I noticed is when I started doing that first, when I started clearing the space of their home, when I started clearing their energy fields through various shamanic practices as well, I noticed that sort of brought them to the starting line where they could actually do the work. As well as clearing the space, my own space. I mean, that was a priority. When clients are coming, they're bringing a lot of stuff in, they're bringing a lot of heaviness. It needs somewhere to go, to dissipate. You don't want to take it on yourself as a therapist, but you can feel the imprints of really strong energy in your space that your clients are bringing in. So it is important to keep your own space clear as well, possibly more importantly than clearing the client space. So if you imagine someone comes in and they're sitting in that chair, they're lying on your plinth, and you do the work, and there's a lot of energetic residue still hanging around that smudging and so on just doesn't seem to cut it all the time. So the practices that I will be teaching will be to clear away geopathic stress from your home, which is distorted earth energies that can really harm your well-being, because if you're sleeping over these geopathic zones, your body can't shut down at nighttime and your system's switched on all the time. It can't regenerate and recharge. So obviously that's going to have an impact on your overall well-being and your immune system and so on. We'll also look at these energetic imprints. I talked about it in a setting with your clients, but also if you imagine in a home, if you've moved into a house, particularly older houses, a lot of stuff is going on there and you don't know the whole history of it. People could have died in it, someone could have been murdered in it, someone could have died of cancer, and that energy still hangs around. Violence and so on. So there's so much that's in the land. Even if you buy a new house but there was a battle there 3,000 years ago, the energy of that is still in the land. So clearing away the geopathic stress and the energetic imprints is what I call those. Also thought forms, which can manifest as curses. These real negative thoughts that people have towards you can become what's known as a curse. A curse isn't something, well, it can be, sort of black magic type stuff, but most often it's just someone who really has ill will towards you or resentment, and they have a lot of feeling and emotion behind it, and it's sticky. It gets in our energy fields and creates these distortions in the flow of energy, can really sort of knock us off course. So that's another area we'll be looking at as well. The effects of the surrounding area. We'll be looking at entities as well. That's a big one, whether demonic energies or just sort of ghosts of people who haven't passed over, that may not necessarily be negative in terms of being malevolent, but ghosts in general and people who haven't crossed over after those 7 days, they create a drain on the living because they need an energy source to sustain themselves. So having not gone or made that choice to go, or maybe they don't know, it's not always as clear cut as that. They could be sort of caught in between, not knowing they're dead, but the energy of that sticks around, and it's taken from the living. So you can feel drained. You can also feel even more than that when they're in your energy fields. You can feel that your thoughts aren't your own. Your behaviors have changed. Your circle of friends has changed, but not in a good way. You maybe feel you've lapsed back into old ways of being and thinking, or started drinking again, or whatever it may be. So in terms of any healing practice that you have, whether it's, I don't know, reflexology or Reiki, massage, shamanic healing, any sort of spiritual healing, it doesn't really matter. To me, this is the core place to start, is to clear the deck so the person can actually have a chance. Because one of the things a lot of my clients say after a clearing is they have more clarity on, who they are, where they're going, and more self-awareness, more presence in their bodies. Does that sound like an ideal client that you would like to have and work with? How many people have worked with clients and you feel like you just, no matter what you do, you're trying to drag them along, and it can be very draining on you. Anything you try doesn't seem to be working, and have this resistance to healing. This could be why. So if you're interested as a therapist, or not, it could be just for yourself and your family. You want to keep your space clear. You want to learn how to do it for yourself. I'm going to be running a course in October. It'll be over 10 days, but the first week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, will be where we actually do the work, and then the following Wednesday will be just a follow-up. You'll have case studies to work on. I will check them with my dowsing to see how you progressed. But the beauty that I've noticed of this, because I've taught this before over the years, both one-to-one and in groups, is that even people who haven't been exposed to a lot of this stuff, or they're maybe very new to the journey, they could still do it. Several people have said to me that it feels like it's less about what we've learned and the actual process and how to do it, and more like you've given us some sort of gift or an attunement that you know how to do it, and you've just sort of passed it on. So if you're worried about, I don't know if I can do it or not, don't be. Like I said, I've had people who I was genuinely happily surprised that the results they got were amazing, and that's gone back maybe 7-8 years ago. So things have changed, become a lot more potent. The clearings have gone from being just sort of working in this physical soul realm to beyond that, to interdimensional healing. So really love teaching. I really love doing this work, and I'm at the stage in my life where I want to share this with people, and I think the people who benefit most are the people who help people, the healers of the world. So if this is of interest to you, have a look at the page in the links related to this video, and join us for some fun and learning a new technique that will enhance your healing business. Or if you're not a healer, you don't have a business, you just want to do it for yourself or your friends and family, then by all means join us as well. Take care.